Welcome to Friday, the 18th day of February 2022. This Day Weather Podcast brought to you by Chugwater Chili, the gourmet spice of Western life. The perfect meal or seasoning coming on up for this weather forecast, that's for sure. Try out their green chili seasoning. It's quick and easy to make. Go to chugwaterchili.com. Use Chugwater Don for 20% off. Windy and mild weather, basically from today through most of Sunday for the Intermountain West and the Plain States. We're actually going to have a Chinook downsloping wind off the Front Range of the Rockies. So this is one of these situations to where we just had a cold front. We just had some wintry weather. Now we're going to have 3 days where it's going to kind of feel a little bit like spring, but don't be sucked in because big changes are coming as we head on into the end of the weekend and next week. Warmer with windy areas. Wind is still going to be causing blowing snow problems over the high mountain passes and along the high elevations of Interstate 80, but temperatures will be moderating, but we are going to have high winds. You always have a lot of wind, especially near the divide, ahead of an Arctic front. Our confidence is very high that a major cold event with snow is coming. I think it's kind of hard to turn around this bus because it's coming. Arctic air will be hitting Montana and North Dakota by Sunday morning, and then also pushing into parts of the Pacific Northwest. The Arctic air will then plunge south into South Dakota, Wyoming, Nebraska, Kansas, parts of Utah, Idaho, parts of the Pacific Northwest. The Arctic air will be associated with the snow. It really kind of the floodgates open up during the day Monday. That's when the deeper cold air comes in. And boy, by Monday night, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it'll be right on top of the region. This is going to be dangerous cold and dangerous wind kill conditions for livestock interests. Anyone in calving or lambing operations, take this situation seriously. It's not just a day or two of cold, which has kind of been the way it's been this winter. Yeah, it's gotten cold, but it hasn't been cold for multiple days. That's going to happen with this system. At least 3 to 4, maybe 5 days of cold. And this is the coldest air of the season. We are going to see sub-zero temperatures potentially for 3 nights in a row. I think some of you will have below zero temperatures 4 nights in a row. We'll post a video update on Sunday. Don't know when on Sunday, but sometime during the day Sunday, we'll post a video update to the Day Weather YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on what's coming heading into early next week. As you take a look, we have the jet stream coming along here, keeping everything off to the north and east of us, but we're under these tight gradients here. So the jet stream winds are strong coming in from the northwest. That's what's going to be making it windy. Then we have this really innocuous little wave right here, but this is the instigator. This little upper level low coming in out of western Alaska. And there's a lot of snow falling in Alaska right now with this system. This is going to tap into this gray and the blue here, and especially this area, this air mass right here that's on the ground. That's where the really bitter cold air is. And so basically it's going to hook up with that, then drag it in. And as you can see going forward, we are going to have a lot of wind. These are the wind gusts that'll be happening here over the next 3 days. So you can see along the Front Range, the mountains of Colorado, along I-80 and I-25, also some gusty winds along I-90 up here as well. Strong winds developing up into the gap areas of Montana. Look at the strong winds up in North Dakota as well. When you have a big air mass change, you're always going to have some wind. Now look at temperatures. This is where you can't rest on your laurels. We are going to have temperatures as much as 20 degrees or more above average across parts of the northern Rockies, also the Front Range of Wyoming into Colorado into western areas of Nebraska. A big warm up. You can see it's east of the divide there, a Chinook. So these are temperatures tomorrow that are going to be pretty warm. But as we go into Sunday at noon, that upper level low that's here now comes in, and you can see this spoke that was up here getting dragged further south. So here it is hooking up with that Arctic air and about ready to push it in. Now these are temperatures relative to the 30-year normals or averages. And right here is basically going to be the boundary of the Arctic air mass this is at 11 a.m. on Sunday. So just penetrating across the border into North Dakota and halfway or getting into a good part of Montana. Then this is by noon Monday. Look at the purple. See the plunge? By Monday, 11 a.m., the Arctic air mass is to I-70 and pushing south and east up here. So you see all that purple. When you see purple on these maps, as folks who watch this podcast know, you're talking about that's where the coldest air is. As you take a look by Tuesday morning across the western half of the United States, you can see that the penetration is now into Amarillo. We are look at all of this purple up here, going all the way back to the other side of the Rockies in Canada, and see the green and the blue getting back into California here, back into the desert states, into the Pacific Northwest. It's going to be very, very hard to escape this cold anywhere in the western United States. Now, you might be wondering why that is orange there. Remember, these are temperatures relative to averages. It's just that the Arctic air isn't deep enough yet to get into the high valleys of central and western Colorado, at least by Tuesday morning. As we get into Wednesday night and Thursday, the trajectory of the air is coming right out of the Arctic Circle region, dipping all the way, look at that, into Arizona. So there's just going to be a big wedge of Arctic air settling into this area here. And basically, it's released the Kraken. As you get into this situation where the doors open to Canada, there you go. And look at the big mass of purple that is into the region by Tuesday afternoon, getting into western areas of divide. And see the green now into the western slope of Colorado, into the Four Corners area. Look at California getting into the Pacific Northwest, and then out ahead of it, very warm temperatures relative to average out ahead of this Arctic outbreak. So all of this purple, the Kraken looks more like Barney, doesn't it? Yep, the Kraken is Barney with all that purple. Look at by Friday morning, the 25th of February, by a week from today, the Arctic air has now spilled into the Gulf Coast of Texas and Louisiana, and we see a large swath of North America. Only the far east now is going to have the warmth. So this is going to be a major, major Arctic outbreak for the United States. And as we mentioned in yesterday's podcast, this is only 1 week removed from the big Arctic outbreak that happened a year ago. A year ago it happened this week. This year it's happening just a week later. But I tell you folks, it's not exactly the same, but it's very, very similar to what happened a year ago. So we're going to be having to get ready for that. So I'm going to step you through the forecasted temperatures. Now remember, these are just the forecasted temperatures. Use these as a kind of a tool, as a guide on what to expect. This is by Tuesday morning. Anywhere you see gray here, temperatures are at or below zero. So you can see this is where the boundary of the sub-zero temperatures are going to be by Tuesday morning. By Wednesday morning, these are the forecasted low temperatures. So you're talking minus 28 in Gillette, minus 28 in Buffalo, minus 29s to getting to minus 30s up into Montana. And you can see the sub-zero temperatures are now to Denver by Wednesday morning, with single digits getting into the panhandles. Look at the wind chills. We showed you this yesterday. By Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, you're talking about wind chill values in excess of 40 degrees, 30 degrees below zero. This is where you're getting into a very dangerous situation with the severe cold. Look at the wind chill back into parts of California and here west of the divide. We really haven't seen that yet this winter here. Now, these are the forecasted low temperatures for Thursday. Still, lots of 20s, lots of 15s, 30 below zero, near 30 below zero temperatures up there. So Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, could all go sub-zero. Some of you are going below zero Thursday night into Friday morning as well. Snowfall. This looks very similar to the map I showed you yesterday. I am gaining more and more confidence that this area right here is going to see some significant snow along with the Arctic air. So we're talking about all of South Dakota, all of the I-90 corridor, Rapid City, Gillette, Buffalo, Sheridan. Look at Billings area here, and up into other areas of Montana. Then look at these really heavy snows that may be falling into the Four Corners area and into the mountains of Colorado. As the low swings down here, it is going to pick up some Pacific moisture and direct it to here. So the mountain snowpack is going to get a big boost, especially down here, while the plains go into the bitter cold. When will this break? Well, this is by next Sunday. More of a westerly flow begins to develop. So the Arctic air is going to retreat probably by next Friday or Saturday. So by next weekend, it won't be as cold. But this is a wave that'll bring snow to the mountains and wind to the plains. Notice we have another tail right here of Arctic air into central and western areas of Canada. And if we were to go out a little bit further, this is by Friday, March 4th. Now, if this happens, basically, we have a counterclockwise spinning column here of really cold air that's just going to spin around the northern part of the United States into the Rockies. If this happens, this means that as we get into the first few days of March, it could be darn cold across all of the United States. Also, more Pacific moisture gets interjected into the region. So it's going to get really busy here over the next couple of weeks. Here's over the next week and a half or so through March 4th. You can see this swath of moisture right here is going to be snow. That's going to be significant. By early March is when we start to see the better rains and snows getting into California. When we look at snowfall between now and March 4th, this is very impressive. And look how far south by early March the snow's getting. So lots going on. A reminder that we will give you an update sometime during the day Sunday, so go to the Day Weather YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Have a good weekend. More coming your way.